and the aftermath of the Buck Showalter decision. But I've been trying to get this guy on for a couple of weeks. I'm pleased that he's going to join me right now. He is a defending champion on this program because he teaches journalism at Alabama. Just when we thought journalism was dead, he kind of proves it by going around the world and doing stories and writing. And if you follow him at Lars Anderson 71, you'll see that he's not the professional wrestler Lars Anderson or related to Ole Anderson. He is the journalist at Bleacher Report. Wrote a great piece on Carmelo Anthony. I want to welcome him back onto the program. What's going on, Lars? How's life, man?
Life's been great. Good to be with you.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got a lot of things going on. You're a pretty busy guy, and I do appreciate your time. And, I caught this piece out on my Twitter. I follow you amongst many other journalist types who write what we would call takeout journalism or long-form journalism on the internet, which is my favorite stuff to read. I don't know Carmelo Anthony, just, FYI. Like, I've never met him. I don't know that I've ever been in a room with him. I don't know that he spends a ton of time in Baltimore, but I know friends who know Carmelo, and I know he's spotted around town from time to time and had a hell of a pickup game here with LeBron a couple of years ago over at Morgan. But you found the piece on him, and I found it to be compelling, and I just want you to give me the background on it, and tell me how this thing came to be, because I think everybody should read it.
Yeah, thank you. When I was in Rio covering the Olympics, one of the editors at Bleacher Report, suggested we do this long story on Carmelo, and it was kind of the theme of it was going to be the summer of Carmelo, the summer he grew up. And so I was able to spend a little bit of time with him in Rio. I mean, not a ton. And then, we were trying to get together at various points back in the United States, but it just, our schedules just never lined up. And but anyway, I had plenty in my notebook from Rio, and then I just talked to old people who knew Carmelo back when he was in Baltimore, and so I really wanted to show in the story the development of his character, and how he got to the point where he has become this leader among all athletes of standing up for social justice. And I think it was
Colin Kaepernick is now in that conversation, right?
Oh, absolutely. But I think you can trace Kaepernick's behavior to Carmelo sort of, issuing a call to action, so to speak, for athletes. When he was, it was after the shootings in Dallas, which have been after the shootings in Louisiana, after the shootings in Minnesota. And he just said, you know what, I don't have the answers, but I'm going to try to figure out how we can remedy this problem of the racial divide in this country, which seems to be growing wider rather than narrower, and just what is going on in our African American communities and the lack of trust with the predominantly white police force that polices those communities, and so again, he was really the first one to stand up, and then he did this over Instagram, and that was heard all over the world. He wrote an opinion piece in The Guardian, and then he led the charge with LeBron James and at the ESPYs, standing up and just saying, "Look, something needs to be done here." And he's put action behind it. He held a sort of a town hall meeting in South Central Los Angeles, which he kept the media out of because he didn't want the media around to be a distraction. So it was with community leaders and police officers. And his goal was to make people start to feel comfortable being uncomfortable and initiating raw, honest dialogue of the problems that we are having in mostly inner city America. And this, it's a remarkable sort of transformation for Carmelo, because Carmelo as a kid, he was the kind of kid who ran from the police. In his neighborhood in Baltimore, police officers were not to be trusted.
Well, the Stop Snitching video that was made famous here, his involvement with that really turned a lot of heads, I think, in a lot of ways. I mean, it's over a decade ago now. It's a dozen years ago now.
Yeah. And so, again, so you see... and
look, I live in the city. I know all about The Wire and all that stuff, right? I mean, I drive around here. I've lived here my whole life, so I know the reputation outside of here,
Yeah, and so anyway, I think, that just shows you how far Carmelo has come, and it makes you excited when you sort of look at him personally of how much he's evolved and what he can do going forward, even when he's done playing basketball.
He is Lars Anderson. He wrote a great piece out on Bleacher Report on Carmelo. And, you were down in Rio for a period of time. And were you with Carmelo when you went up to Corcovado and did those type of things and walking around and seeing the favelas? Was that part of your assignment down there?
I did go through the favelas. I did not go with Carmelo. That was recreated for me for the piece. But yeah, I know. And I went to exactly where he was, and spoke to people that he interacted with, and they certainly have a really bad reputation across the globe of the favelas. It's a term. It's roughly translates to slum. But in the favelas, it was fascinating that people there actually seemed happier than most Americans, and just grateful for the few possessions that they had. And they may not even have running water or electricity, but there was a powerful sense of community. And I think that's what Carmelo felt too when he went and visited the favela, and saying, Baltimore is my favela. And I think he just wanted people to know that they weren't alone, and that there are guys who, these superstars, these global icons, willing to go and spend time with them in their communities.
The piece is on Carmelo Anthony. He's also written about North Dakota State. He's headed out to Napa to do a Tiger Woods piece. You can follow his journey out at Bleacher Report as well as at Lars Anderson 71. Lars, always a pleasure to get you on, man. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Great work, great reading. I like reading good work, and there it is, BleacherReport.com. Just Google it. You'll find it. The Fierce Urgency of Melo is the headline on that. You can find me out in the Bio Toyota Audio Vault 24 hours a day from anywhere in the world on your mobile device by downloading the TuneIn Radio app. We come in crystal clear anywhere you are. Tuesday we'll be with C.J. Mosley at Buffalo Wild Wings in Owings Mills, swabbing for the Bone Marrow Registry and for There Goes My Hero, as well as on Monday night we'll be there for Best Seat in the House and our wing eating challenge. Nasty at WNST. I laugh because it's always fun. Nasty at WNST.net finds me. Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, streaming live on Facebook Live, as well as our YouTube WNSTV channel. We are WNST.net, AM 1570 and WNST Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports. Thanks, Lars.